Hello guys, let's see this tool from Checkmarx Kics that is used for Docker security. It's a scanner and this is its GitHub page. So let's see how we can install it. We can use a Docker image that will create a volume of our local directory by copying it to the container, and we'll run its scan towards the directory that is mapped. Okay, so here is the output. We are recommended to do certain steps, and actually we can check them inside of the website of the company. What are the steps we need to do in order to correct those problems and to ensure best practices? So here at the bottom we see recommendations, and we see that we need just to unify two of the runs in one row in order to create less layers and to ensure better caching. For the next, we need to ensure that we have health check in our Docker file, and here is one that I've prepared in order to check for the running of the container. And we're basically running curl towards the API address and port. The next is that we are creating one anonymous user and a group, and then we are using this user inside of the image and copying the files into our container by changing the permissions in the group using this user. The point is that this is not a best practice. Basically, Docker recommends that we should be using root, so the files and the directory should be owned by root, but in the end, we will just use the normal user to switch to when running applications, so I can remove this additional operation. Next, in the Docker Compose, we need to set up security opt. So by setting up no new privileges to true, we are saying basically that the running container files won't be able to escalate their privileges. And this is some kind of restriction over the security. No matter what they're running inside, it will not be able to escape its default set privileges. The next is that we need to show and use correct version of Node.js. So from Docker Hub, we can grab one and use it directly inside of our Docker file. The same for Node.mon. We can go to its npm page and see which is the latest version and use it directly. This is in order to ensure that our image will run towards specific versions correctly. Next, we will need to add also the same health check to our Docker Compose file. As you can see, the syntax is almost the same. We are issuing the command curl and we are checking whether the request to this port and address will fail or not. Okay, next, vulnerability. We need to add capabilities to our created service inside of Docker Compose. So we'll use cap drop all. It's a little bit restrictive. And of course, you need to check your container whether it runs. This container is a simple one and it functions correctly. If you'd like to check the current running capabilities, we need to grab the container ID and to enter inside of it with a user root. And actually, we need also to execute shell. So when we are root, with the help of the library libcap, we can list the current running capabilities. Okay, so we see all the capabilities that the container image is using, and we can specify them in their Docker file if we would like to be exact. Now let's run again the scanner, and we see we haven't specified correctly the node image. We'll correct this, and we see that we don't have any more errors, so we can restart the Docker Compose, and we see the container is running. So this is a very nice tool. I recommend you to use it against the containers that you have already.